talk about the giveaway reel. It's a Okuma Classic CLX 300. This is my favorite catfish reel in this size. Got the bait clicker. Got the star drag. You can tighten it down or loosen it up right here off the handle. You're pulling a fish, you know, if you need more drag, it's a little fish, and you just want to winch him up to the boat, you can just like that, just tighten it up. If you want to loosen it up, do the same thing. Then of course you got your tensioner here. There's 100 videos on how to set this tensioner, so I'm not going to make another one. Steve Douglas has got the bare bones basic one. It works great. Just use that one. It's the same way I do it. Anyways, this reel's a good reel. I use Abu Garcias for years. Now I've got some that are retired in my house in a file cabinet in the drawers. I've still got one on a fishing pole, but I use it for bass fishing. It's a great reel. I've caught a lot of big flatheads and blues with the Abu reel, but for the money, this one's better. I grew up fishing on creek banks and rivers and ponds and lakes, and in Oklahoma there's a lot of sand. Keystone, there's a lot of sand. These creeks around here, there's a lot of sand. And the first time you lay that Abu down in the sand, and it gets a little bit of sand between right here and here, it's gonna sound gritty from now on out. I don't really care for that. This one won't. Matter of fact, this one has spent more time this year, every year that I've owned it, out in the sun on this boat waiting for the next fishing trip than it has inside of a garage or in a house. And it works great. The only thing I ever have to do is change out the line on it, and it keeps going. And if you've watched any of my videos, you're going to notice that I have the same reels on every catfish rod, but every catfish rod is different. There's a reason behind that. So I bought a bunch of different catfish rods, all the ones from Academy, Bass Pro Shop, Navitac, Walmart, every store. And the thing about catfishing is you really don't need sensitivity. There's two factors that I look at when I'm catfishing. If I'm going to be casting far, if I'm going to be casting, if I'm fishing right behind the boat, a short rod will get the job done, so will a long rod. But if I'm going to be casting 150, 100 yards, or I'm going to be using a slip float and letting it drift out behind my boat, you know, 200 yards, a longer fishing pole with a better backbone, when you reel down and you set the hook, I don't use circle hooks, I use J hooks. When you reel down and you set the hook, you need that leverage, you need that longer rod to freaking set the hook. It allows you to catch up with that fish so much faster having that longer rod, having a longer stroke, than having a short rod. Your hookup ratio will be better. Now I know a lot of guys on boats, they don't fish that far behind their boat. That's fine. I got short fishing rods too, and you know, I cast them closer to the boat. But anyways, there is no the best catfish rod. They're all good catfish rods. Every one of them are good. They all do the same thing. The difference is the length of your rod and the backbone. Where does it start to bend at? That's what you're going to want to find out. If you're going to be fishing you're casting it a long ways, you're going to want a stiffer rod when the hook's set, when you need it. And I like this Bill Dance Quantum Catfish Edition. Works really good. I also like meat hunters a lot. I also have a pin rod. Like I said, I bought one of pretty much every catfish rod you can think of. And I put them all through paces, and they've all caught me big catfish. can check out a bunch of pictures of catfish that I've got on my Facebook page on it's under That Damn Fishing Guy. And you can check out on there and see a bunch of catfish that I've caught. All with these rods, all different catfish rods. They all catch catfish. Now, this is my favorite open-faced catfish reel. It's cheap. I tear them up and I go through them. And this has caught a bunch of 20 and 30 pound flatheads and blues. And it's still going. And it's just a Quantum Optics. Where's that size at? The size is kind of wore off of here, but this is the biggest one you can buy at Walmart. I think it's like 30 bucks. And then I use this on longer surf rods. I use braid because I want to be able to, I want the casting distance in this braid. When I really want to cast far, I go with braid. I can use a lighter weight and get more distance. All of my open face reels are all these Quantum Optics. Now I do have different sizes. Matter of fact, this size right here on a B&M Silver Cat or something, the B&M Cat Magnum or whatever the hell it is, it's a blue fishing rod, $20 at Walmart. Got a paracord wrapped handle, this reel, this braid. And I caught a 30 pound blue in Bird Creek, and it was freaking ripping. It was ripping last year. Springtime. This is slip corks that I use, and I love them. You can't hardly beat them. I just buy those cheap corks from Atwood's. This part here, slip corks, non-weighted ones, and then I go to Walmart, buy those $5 pool noodles. You can find them on clearance sometimes. For like, I found like, I got like 30 of them for like 50 cents a piece at the beginning of this year. Anyways, cut them up, get 2-part epoxy from Harbor Freight or wherever you want to, put it on the bobber on this side, and then slide the noodle on over, going this way down. And then I just put some epoxy around the bottom of it, and this sucker, it ain't going nowhere. And then at night, you can just stab a glow stick in there and you can see it at night. Anyways, so that's that. Go to my Facebook page, like, comment, and subscribe. And when I get to 100 subscribers, like I said, you're gonna have to go to my Facebook page and put your name on there. Maybe you guys should start picking a number 1 through 100, go through the comment section and see, make sure the number you want hasn't been taken. If it has, put in a different number, and then we'll do a computer generated drawing to see who wins. We'll do it live or however you guys want to do it, and then I'll mail this to one of you guys. And then when we get to 500 subscribers, I'll probably do the Okuma Komodo SS. That's a $300 reel. What I like about it as compared to this is it's got it's a lower profile. It's a big reel, but it's a lower profile, and it has a high higher retrieve, like 5 to 1. So every 5 times I go around, or every 1 revolution of the handle is 5 times the spool turns over. And so a faster retrieve, you know, if a fish starts running at you, you can pick the slack up faster so you can't throw the hook or get you tangled up in a tree, or you can horse them a little bit more with that fishing reel is what I'm going with that. And another reason I use this braid on these reels is because a lot of times I take this fishing in creeks when they're really flooded, and I'll fish this heavy braid, and I'll fish it right in a freaking log jam, and I'm not letting them pull no drag. I'm pulling them up out of the trees, and I need a broomstick of a fishing rod. I'm using big perch, largemouth bass, crappie, and when I hook up with a flathead or blue cat sometimes in these brush piles, I'm picking them up out of the freaking, I'm not letting them fight. We're not doing that because they'll get tangled up in the tree limbs. A couple videos back fishing into the night, you guys seen that happen, you know. When I fish a log jam, I don't like to lose fish, so in those instances, I'm gonna horse that fish out of there. I know, like, you watch a bunch of fishing videos and they're fishing on the lake and they ain't really got no worries about getting tangled up in nothing, no brush or no trees or nothing like that, but it sucks losing fish that way. And so that braid, not on rocks, on trees, some heavy braid, you can pull them catfish right out of there. And if you got a good hook, like these Gamakatsu, I mean, they're the best hooks. You know, opinions are opinions, and my opinions, this is the best one. I don't care for any other catfish hook. I don't care for any other brand but Gamakatsu. Even circle hooks, if you're gonna use circle hooks. But these hooks are always sharp. They're just, and I match my hook to the size of the bait I'm using, not so much to the size of the catfish, because believe it or not, most of my big flatheads this year came on this size 6 hook, size 6 hook, or 6/0 hook. And most of my blues, they came fishing with bigger pieces of cut bait, and I was using 10/0 or 9/0. I get 9/0 if they don't have 10/0. They're close enough to the same size that doesn't really matter. But small bluegill, just trying to catch fish out of a creek, and next thing you know, you got a big flathead, and then this is what I caught it with. If that fish gets that bait in his mouth and he's got it closed, your rod bends over and you set the hook, this hook is sharp and it will find a place to dig in and catch that fish. But enough about that. The next thing I want to say is that everybody's always talking about using beads on their, you know, they tell you to use a sinker slide or some kind of a bead. I don't. This lead is softer than a bead. And those no-roll sinkers, they got a little bit more of a straight hole, so I can see that beating up on some guys' knots, but that slides right over my knot. I mean, my knot slides right in there. So I'm not really worried about my sinker beating up my knot. I'll tell you what I am worried about. Let's go back here and see if we can find some beads. That bead is hard plastic and it has a sharp edge. And what you don't want is a hard bead or a sharp edge. Here's a little no-roll sinker. I'll show you guys that. But I just had a bead. Maybe I stuck it in my pocket. I probably did. This is that brand of bobbers from Atwood's that I get to make those slip corks. Now the deal with this is, this bead is hard plastic and that lead is soft. I mean, it's soft. So my whole thing behind that is I feel like, I mean, this bead is hard and it's got a sharp edge on it. I feel like this slamming into my knot, I feel like that hard edge slamming into my knot is going to be worse than this soft lead that I can just make tooth marks in. I feel like that bead is going to be a lot freaking worse than just this. I mean, just that, yeah, I don't like that at all. Now I'll tell you, they do make some bobber stops that are rubber, and I've seen guys use that. If I was going to put anything on there, but I'm not, but if I was, I'd put those rubber stops on there, because if you got your drag set and you're not, if you got your drag set, it shouldn't really be an issue. I mean, I change my stuff thoroughly enough and regularly enough from break-offs or whatever, or just changing locations and fishing differently, that I'm not worried about that being the failing point of my system. And anyways, we'll be giving this reel away, so like, comment, subscribe, stick around. We'll be catching some more fish here soon. Allegedly fall fishing's been picking up. You guys have seen my past few videos. That hasn't been the case for me, but we're gonna stick to it. We're about to go to Eufaula Dam and Hoover Dam and Las Vegas, and we're gonna see what we can't catch down there. We're gonna go to Eufaula Dam, see if we can't get some skipjack down there. They're down there, and I want to see how well fish bite on skipjack that aren't used to eating skipjack, if that makes sense. So I want to catch some skipjack, and I want to fish with them lakeside and just different places where I've never seen skipjack. Anyhow, remember, like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Facebook page at That Damn Fishing Guy. And until next time, peace.